Signals of a major shift are emerging once again on the chessboard of global politics. On one hand, there is the heat of the Middle East war. On the other, growing diplomatic pressure on the United States. In this situation, U.S. President Donald Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping have come face to face in Beijing. The crisis surrounding the Strait of Hormuz has now become a major threat to the global economy. Due to the conflict with Iran, one of the world's most crucial waterways has become virtually paralyzed. This has impacted the international energy market. As a result, oil prices are rising and economic uncertainty is growing. Analysts say that in this situation, the United States is under the most pressure because after taking a military stance against Iran, Washington is now looking for a way out of the crisis. And in seeking that path, the Trump administration is now asking for China's cooperation. Multiple top officials, including U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, have publicly urged Beijing to use their influence to convince Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. But this is exactly where a new geopolitical reality has emerged, because China is no longer just an observer like before. Rather, Beijing is gradually establishing itself as a responsible and powerful global superpower. For a long time, China has been strengthening its economic and diplomatic ties with the Middle East. Consequently, in this current crisis, their position has become extremely crucial. Experts say that Xi Jinping doesn't view this crisis merely as a Strait of Hormuz issue. Rather, China wants to use it as an opportunity for greater bargaining with the United States. The question of Taiwan, Japan's military expansion, and U.S. sanctions, everything could be brought to the negotiating table. On the other hand, this meeting is extremely important for Trump. Amidst domestic political pressure, he wants to show a major diplomatic success. However, Beijing is proceeding very cautiously, as the Chinese leadership believes that the Trump administration's stance could change rapidly. Now, the eyes of the entire world are fixed on this summit in Beijing, because the outcome of this meeting will not only affect U.S.-China relations, but could also determine the trajectory of the Middle East war, the global economy, and the future balance of international power.